Good evening, I'm Jacqueline Matter. Thanks for being with us. Scott Dennis is off this evening. Topping our news, your weekend plans may be in jeopardy with a tropical disturbance brewing. Let's get the latest on that from Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan with our first alert weather. Bob?
Well, we are watching this disturbed area. We've been watching it for the last several days now as it works its way northward. There's nothing too organized at this point. That's a good sign. The bad thing is that it's shifted a little bit off to the west now, so it's going to be drifting right into the west coast of Florida. And you can see that moisture is lined up well south of Cuba and just off the Yucatan Peninsula and Nicaragua. That's all moving off to the north now. And looks as though we'll see and continue to see a pretty healthy weekend of shower and thunderstorm activity. I noticed driving to work today had a brief downpour near Bayshore and Florida Boulevard and causing some ponding of water there on the roadways. Again, the area of concern is all the way down near Nicaragua, stretching up into Florida right now. It's moving to the north. There's no real threat of it becoming a huge storm at this time in terms of wind, but we will see it move off to the north. The chances of it developing have actually dropped a little bit down to 40%. It's supposed to get a little bit hostile in about 3 days from now to the north here. So we'll watch it nonetheless. It'll move up. It will bring us a good round of showers and storms, and flooding will be a real concern here over the weekend and even into early next week. You can see all that rainfall now over South Florida stretching in our direction. We've had some downpours already. Look at this line extending from just south of University Parkway all the way down to Clark Road into Venice and Laurel Road. That has just popped up and is moving off to the west now at 10 miles an hour, and expect some very heavy rainfall. Venice, Osprey, Nokomis, as well as into Siesta Key, and then more rain is on the way after that. We'll talk more about this system and what it means for our weekend coming up in a few minutes. Jacqueline?
All right, thank you, Bob. One way that FEMA helps hurricane victims is to offer them the opportunity to stay in local hotels while their homes are unlivable. But finding hotel space on the Sun Coast after Hurricane Irma has been challenging for some. ABC 7's Adam Cellini joins us live from the Comfort Suites in Sarasota to explain. Adam?
Yeah, Jacqueline, I'm standing, I think, in a bit of that tropical depression right now. I'm not a weather person, but it just started raining a little bit out here. But as we learned earlier today, things could be a lot worse. We spoke to a gentleman who spent his first 3 days on FEMA's assistance here at the Comfort Suites off of Clark Road in Sarasota. But he had to leave once the rowing championship started because this hotel, like many, was all booked up. Hurricane Irma caught up to Tim Fredenberg, even though he tried to evacuate the Sun Coast.
I was trying to drive around it, and there's just no escaping it.
In May, he sold his Sarasota house for life on the road as a charter RV service. But now he's out of work and needs $7,000 to fix a ripped canopy, broken locks, and more. FEMA set him up with hotel vouchers through October 8th. But he had to leave his first stop, the Comfort Suites on Clark Road, because they needed the rooms for the rowing championships.
Told me I wouldn't be able to come back until Monday. And that's when I started running into problems.
A representative from FEMA says their office doesn't have the authority to make hotels accept their hurricane victim vouchers. And the ones that do can still cost money.
Hyatt Place, Lakewood Ranch.
We called the Hyatt Place in Lakewood Ranch, who demanded Fredenberg pay a difference between FEMA's voucher and their discounted room rate. Director of Sales Cecilia Maddie explained those rates reflect demand, which the rowing championships have driven up.
I started getting upset about it. Not for me, but I started thinking about families that have little kids.
Another issue, misinformation on FEMA's interactive map, which shows these two hotels on Clark Road as pet-friendly, when in fact they were not. Now Fredenberg is frantic to avoid a fourth night with no power or AC, knowing it's just a matter of time before he has no money.
It seems to me that if you're going to help anybody, it would be in your own hometown.
Now, we checked in with Fredenberg, who still has not been able to find a hotel for he or his dog Ginger for the night, but he's remained optimistic throughout, saying he's better off than most with that RV, but that RV costs just about as much as a full-price hotel to run every single day. So just because he has the RV doesn't necessarily mean he's comfortable right now, and as he mentioned, we can only imagine what some other people might be going through as well. For now, live in Sarasota, I'm Adam Cellini. Jacqueline, back to you.
All right, thank you so much, Adam. New developments tonight on a murder investigation out of Northport. Police have arrested 26-year-old Marquis Chapa Harris. He's facing second-degree murder charges for the death of 22-year-old Jacaves Rivers. Detectives found Rivers' body at a home on Roxbury Circle earlier this week. Harris lives across the street from that house, and detectives say the two men got into a fight about a burglary of money and drugs. Then Harris pistol whipped Rivers and shot him in the head. Yesterday, police searched a home on Wexford Street, and they say they found a handgun with DNA evidence on it and casings.
We have one arrest. These detectives are still working around the clock, though. There could potentially be other charges of different types of natures, because we've found quite a bit of information about what these folks were up to.
Well, that investigation is ongoing and more charges are pending. A follow-up now on the search for an athlete competing in the 2017 World Rowing Championships at Nathan Benderson Park in Sarasota. 24-year-old Lisette Hernandez-Lacia has now been missing for almost 48 hours. She is a part of the Cuban rowing team and was officially reported missing just after 1 o'clock yesterday afternoon after she did not show up for her morning competition. She was last seen Wednesday night around 9 p.m. If you have any information about her whereabouts, you're being asked to call the Sarasota County Sheriff's Office. Well, when Nathan Benderson Park first got the bid for the World Rowing Championships, one of the main concerns from city and county leaders and residents as well was traffic. But now that the event is in full swing, the consensus has been that traffic is moving smoothly without any major backups. Most drivers are able to get around the UTC Mall and surrounding shopping centers without any issues. Larry Mao says he is the Sarasota County Senior Manager for Transportation, says that in large part that's due to planning.
Sarasota County's been planning this for 2 years, and we've brought in a special consultant. We've looked at all of our background traffic and the projected traffic from the event, and we've made plans for that traffic.
Some of those plans include trolleys and golf carts shuttling people from the parking lot to the venue, and also buses carrying athletes for them to be dropped off at a separate location. But do be aware that this weekend could bring heavier traffic since the final races are standing room only. Town officials in Longboat Key are looking to make bike riding safer. There have been multiple accidents on the island involving people on their bikes. ABC 7's Rick Adams joins us live from Longboat Key with more. Rick?
Yeah, Jacqueline, it's still in the early stages here, but there has been an issue and a problem with bikes here.
At times, it almost feels as if bicycling is practically a way of life on Longboat Key. Every day, there are many bicyclists enjoying the views along the 10-mile stretch of Gulf of Mexico Drive. Police say there have been 7 accidents involving cars versus bicyclists over the last year, and numerous other accidents involving bikes. Nancy Tomlinson, seen here on the left, rides her bike on the sidewalk instead of the bike lane just to feel a little safer.
When there's a lot of traffic, cars may come over, look over, and be in the bike lane, so that's very nerve-wracking.
Longboat Key town officials have started a discussion over a Gulf of Mexico Drive corridor plan. Officials say that they are looking at things they can do with FDOT to make the road friendlier for all those who use it.
It would probably be more about landscaping and creating pedestrian and bicycle areas and bus pull-offs. We are looking at the possibility of a roundabout at the south end at Club Road and a roundabout at the north end at Broadway.
Many bicyclists we talked with believe anything that will make the ride a lot safer would make a big difference.
I think that would be benefiting everybody who lives here and the people who visit here. And I think it would improve the overall situation as far as safety, and more people would definitely ride bikes.
Until any improvements are made to Gulf of Mexico Drive, police are encouraging both bicyclists and motorists to be extra careful.
Just to use common sense and be courteous towards each other. You know, the bicyclists feel like they have the right of way, and a lot of times they do. And rather than challenge the car, you know, let us handle the enforcement side of it.
And town officials do tell us these changes here could still be a few years away. Reporting live from Longboat Key this evening, I'm Rick Adams. Jacqueline, back to you.
Thank you, Rick. After years of planning, the State College of Florida is entering the first stages of its Northeast Manatee County expansion plan. The college purchased 74 acres of land for just over $2 million in hopes of making it easier for the entire community to have access to higher education. The site is located off Erie Road in Parrish, and school officials selected that lot after they examined current population growth trends, including the Parrish development boom.
The State College of Florida is about being part of the community. We want to be in the middle of the community. We want to be the community's first choice in education, and to do that we need to be where the community is growing and where our students live, work, and play.
Right across the street.
SCF officials say they are still working out all the details of their new campus, but they have already made plans for dual enrollment classes with the new Ellington Parish High School, as well as offer their traditional transfer associate's degree programs. Construction won't begin for another 3 to 5 years. Suncoast boaters may want to listen up. All 6 boat ramps at the 10th Street Boat Ramp in Sarasota will be temporarily closed Monday, October 9th through Thursday, October 12th. Over the years, the 10th Street Boat Basin has filled with silt and needs to be dredged to maintain the health of Sarasota Bay. City officials say the closures are necessary because the dredging is now moving towards the boat ramps. That entire project is expected to be completed by January. Well, still to come on your Suncoast News, the Trump administration pushing back against criticism that the U.S. has been slow to help hurricane-battered Puerto Rico. And Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan will be back with your first alert forecast. Plus, want to reduce your risk for several common eye problems? We'll have a simple way you can do just that in your Health Smart.
Once you get atrial fibrillation, you need to have a very close relationship with your primary doctor. Prevention is the whole ball game here, because once you have a stroke, you can't undo it. A year without stroke is a year that you can enjoy doing the things that you've worked all your life to finally get to do. You took care of yourself. You did what is necessary for you to be around one more year. And then next year, we'll celebrate one more year without a stroke.
The Alfa Romeo Stelvio takes the modern compact luxury crossover and injects it with personality.
Every crossover should be this good to drive.
Rediscover your passion for driving at Alfa Romeo of Sarasota.
Outdoor living is one of the greatest perks about living in Florida. So whether this is your style, or this, or maybe this, contact Superior Pools. They've been building pools from Sarasota to Naples since 2001, and they would love to build yours.
Celebrate the end of summer with big savings during the Jeep Celebration event going on now at Sunset Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram in Sarasota. Shop the area's largest selection of new Jeep Wranglers, or save big on a new sleek and stylish Jeep Cherokee for as little as $18,999. Drive off today for your next great adventure in a brand new Jeep Renegade for as low as $15,999. Better prices, bigger selection. Go to Sunset Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram in Sarasota today.
Do you have type 2 diabetes, which requires daily blood monitoring? If you have diabetes, are you on Medicare, Obamacare, or other health insurance? If you answered yes, you may be eligible for diabetic testing supplies at little to no out-of-pocket cost to you. Our accredited staff will handle all of your paperwork for free. And best of all, your diabetic testing supplies are shipped directly to your home for free. Call now to see if you qualify for a meter upgrade and a free pedometer to monitor your daily walking. Use alternate testing sites, a smaller blood sample, and even hear your results out loud. Will you qualify for diabetic testing supplies and an upgraded meter covered by Medicare, Obamacare, or health insurance at little to no out-of-pocket cost to you?
Find out for free by calling the Diabetes Resource Center at 1-800-394-1098. That's 1-800-394-1098, 1-800-394-1098.
Watch your Suncoast News at 6 on your streaming device for a chance to win a $50 Visa. It's easy. Just watch weekdays at 6 for the word of the week. Then enter the word at mysuncoast.com for your shot at a $50 Visa. We'll pick the winner each week. Good luck.
I went in skeptical and came away impressed.
Stelvio can spring from a standstill to 60 miles per hour in 5.4 seconds, a segment best.
Rediscover your passion for driving at Alfa Romeo of Sarasota.
The frustration is mounting in Puerto Rico this evening as thousands of shipping containers full of the supplies just sit on island docks. The Trump administration pushing back against criticism that the U.S. has been slow to respond to the ongoing crisis. ABC's Maggie Rulli joins us now with that response.
A top member of the Trump administration touching down in Puerto Rico today, defending the president's response to the crisis 10 days after Maria devastated the island.
We'll never be satisfied. That's why we're here. That's why we're staying until people are back in their homes, the schools are open, and everything is safe.
From D.C., President Trump pledging to not rest until the people of Puerto Rico are safe, but also saying the island's location and outstanding debt make relief efforts more difficult.
The government of Puerto Rico will have to work with us to determine how this massive rebuilding effort will end up being one of the biggest ever, will be funded.
His remarks come amid a growing backlash. On CNN, the mayor of San Juan blasts Trump's acting Secretary of Homeland Security for calling the relief effort a good news story.
Maybe from where she's standing, it's a good news story. When you're drinking from a creek, it's not a good news story. When you don't have food for a baby, it's not a good news story.
And today, the three-star general Trump sent to coordinate relief efforts after Maria admits the response is not enough.
This recovery is going to take a very long time.
Roughly half of Puerto Ricans are still without running water. Some hospitals on the Puerto Rican island of Vieques have been reduced to triage tents, and thousands of cargo containers filled with life-saving supplies are stuck at San Juan's port, unable to be distributed. A lack of communication, diesel for trucks, and manpower are blamed for the holdup. Both the president and vice president plan to visit Puerto Rico next week. President Trump on Tuesday, and Vice President Mike Pence will go later in the week and will also visit the U.S. Virgin Islands. Maggie Bruley, ABC News, New York.
Certainly devastating seeing some of those images, but we have another tropical disturbance we're watching for you guys over in the Weather Center, correct?
Yeah, nothing like that, though. Right. That was a Category 5, obviously, destruction, devastation. You know, to actually help out and relieve folks from a Category 5 storm, there hasn't been a whole lot of history with Category 5s making landfall, so there isn't really any kind of base to determine how quickly you need to get supplies to them, but it's devastating at this point. And I know Ed McCrane always says, who's the director of the Hurricane Hunters, hurricane people here in Sarasota County, the first 72 are on you, but he also suggests that you go for 7 days, have at least enough provisions for at least 7 days, because you never know when these storms move in how long it will take to get relief. We are looking at the showers and storms gathering around here right now. Some of those storms heavy at times. Van Wezel webcam showing a lot of clouds out there this afternoon and this evening, kind of moving on, rolling on in as a result of this tropical disturbance. And what that means is that it's not a tropical depression at this point, meaning there's no closed low circulation, and we don't look to see anything significant develop, but we will see the possibility of a depression down the road here as it moves off to the north. Now you can see a little rotation there. It's a broad area of low pressure, meaning the circulation is counterclockwise throughout this region, and all these showers you see here kind of pinwheeling in our direction, and we'll continue to see that through tonight and Saturday and possibly even into Sunday. You see a steady stream of moisture moving through the Keys now and through the Florida Straits all the way up toward our area, with the heaviest rain by far down near Fort Myers and Naples. But notice these lines here just developing right along I-75 from Venice, Osprey, up into Siesta Key now, and that rain pretty heavy. Also right there, one lone shower has built up at the junction of I-275 and 75, and some heavier rainfall now occurring right along I-75 in Sarasota County. You can see Osprey getting the heavy rainfall in Nokomis, Venice, East Venice, all the way out to Laurel Road, and this is all moving off to the west, so expect the tough driving conditions. If you can, postpone the drive here for the next couple of hours at least, as more rain is on the way behind those. Over an inch already reported near Northport and East Venice, and lesser amounts up near Bayshore Gardens, but just that half inch of rain or so near Bayshore Gardens and near Florida Boulevard caused up to some flooding already starting to take place in some of the roadways there, some ponding of water, if you will. There's a lot of moisture too, deep tropical moisture still well to the south of us, and all this is going to be shifting off in our direction throughout the next 2 days. The good news is that the Hurricane Center has dropped this now to 40%. It had been as high as 50% for development over the next 5 days. And for the next 2 days, it's at 40%. It has shifted a little bit off to the west now, where that low pressure may end up. Even if it ends up here in the Gulf of Mexico, we are going to see a lot of rain. What's the next name? Well, it's Nate. Nate will be the next named storm, followed by Ophelia. And hopefully that'll be it for this year. Weather headlines read like this. For us, we are expecting a good deal of tropical downpours through the weekend, some flooding possible, and then windy Monday and Tuesday. We're not talking a big wind, but it will be noticeably breezier on into Tuesday as well as into Monday. Right now, 81 degrees, and winds are out of the west-southwest at 5. The pressure 29.91 inches right now. And we have quite a bit of clouds around. Well, here's the forecast as we see it. A 70% chance for showers and storms on Saturday. We'll have scattered activity in the morning and then becoming more numerous in the afternoon and evening. And then overnight showers are possible. That's at 40%. Sunday, the rain chance at 60%. And then windy weather moves in on Monday and Tuesday. Rain chances staying high. So the big concern with this tropical disturbance at this point is the potential for flooding at this point. And that's not a given at this point. Back to you.
All right, thank you, Bob. Now to First Alert traffic. Right now, traffic is backed up on I-75 in the southbound lanes near Fruitville Road in Sarasota. In your health news tonight, the Food and Drug Administration is taking a big step in the fight to end the ongoing opioid epidemic. The FDA is now requiring manufacturers of the most widely prescribed painkillers to provide extensive training to doctors. The new requirement is part of an effort to lower the number of patients who become addicted. The prescriber training, which could take a year to organize and implement, must include consideration of non-opioid alternatives. Well, we all know that working out is good for you, but you may not know that getting plenty of exercise may also help preserve your vision. Several studies over the last 10 years have found a correlation between regular exercise and reducing risks for several common eye problems such as cataracts, age-related macular degeneration, and glaucoma. Vision problems and eye disease also stem from high blood pressure and high cholesterol, something a healthy diet and regular exercise can also help with. Coming up, a dangerous situation at Yosemite National Park. The number of people who have been injured following a second rock slide in just 2 days.
This is an important announcement. If you're between 50 and 85 and worried about your loved ones, you can still get affordable life insurance for peace of mind.
My life insurance coverage is guaranteed, and I was not required to get a medical exam.
I had high blood pressure and diabetes, and I got my coverage with one telephone call. No exam necessary.
I'm a smoker, and I wanted to take care of my family. I called to get my life insurance and my affairs in order. I wanted to do the right thing.
Call Final Expense No Exam Insurance. Your rates are guaranteed and will never increase.
I called and learned that this insurance cannot be canceled even if you get sick or gain weight.
And there are no restrictions on how my beneficiaries use the money when I'm gone.
Approval was easy and the price was right. I wanted to do this for my children.
Call 800-738-9812. 800-738-9812.
It's no small wonder anybody loves it all.
I just love art that moves me.
No small,
I mean, really moves me.
One.
Sunset Fiat of Sarasota presents No Small Wonder. High performance style. Let the art of Fiat move you.
Are you getting the most out of your Medicare plan? Are you sure? Many people with Medicare are eligible for plans that include extra benefits in addition to those found in original Medicare. Benefits like dental, vision, and prescription drug coverage. Call now to see if you're eligible to enroll. The consultation is free with no obligation to enroll. In addition to hospital and medical coverage, at no extra cost, you could also get coverage for prescription drugs, dental, hearing, vision, and more. In many areas, plans with benefits are available with $0 copays for many services, $0 monthly premiums, or $0 deductibles. That's hospital, medical, prescription drug, dental coverage, and more included in one plan with premiums that may be as low as $0 a month. Call now to see if you're eligible to enroll. The consultation is free and there's no obligation to enroll.
Call 1-800-620-2254. That's 1-800-620-2254.
Check out My Suncoast Dining on mysuncoast.com, your guide to the foodie lifestyle. ABC 7's own Chef Judy serves up her favorite recipes, cooking tips and trends, dining blogs, step-by-step videos, and Suncoast Restaurant Guide. You'll find it all at mysuncoast.com/dining.
Terrifying rock slides at Yosemite National Park killed a tourist on Wednesday and Thursday and also injured a man who was leaving the park with his family. Now, these rock falls are happening during the peak of the hiking and climbing season. ABC's Alex Stone shows us the dangers.
2 giant slabs in just 2 days, falling from El Capitan, that iconic peak rising up over 3,000 feet, a top destination for tourists in California's Yosemite Park. Rockfalls in Yosemite are not uncommon, about 80 times a year, but the size and frequency of these are unusual. On Wednesday, a British man killed during a climbing visit, his wife injured when a massive hunk of granite plunged from El Capitan, dust spreading across the valley. That slab, the height of a 12-story building, and weighed hundreds of tons.
This could have killed people on the road.
Then on Thursday, Rachel Evans and her family were driving home from a 3-day trip to the park when suddenly a rock burst through their sunroof.
It shattered, and at the same time my husband reached up and he was like, "Oh, my head," because it was bleeding profusely.
Her husband airlifted to a hospital. Geologists say the breaks are probably caused by the expansion and contraction of the granite, which makes up the peak, heating up in the summer, getting cold and more brittle in the winter. These recent rock falls putting even seasoned climbers on edge.
I'm not going to climb there again, buddy.
And they're respectful of nature's power.
This is nature at its worst and at its most amazing and its finest, and it's awesome and it's terrible. And it's...
The park, which sees over 5 million visitors each year, will remain open. Alex Stone, ABC News, Los Angeles.
Still to come on your Suncoast News, new testimony in the trial of a former Sarasota County Sheriff's deputy, what the alleged victim's doctor said on the stand, as well as the new key pieces of evidence. Straight ahead.
This is an important medical announcement. Xarelto and Pradaxa have been linked to uncontrollable bleeding and even death. If you've been prescribed one of these drugs and have experienced these dangerous side effects, you may be entitled to substantial compensation. Studies show that Pradaxa can cause more heart attacks than warfarin, and other countries have already issued safety warnings against this drug. Call now for a free assessment of your case and potential money damages. The call is confidential, there's no cost, and you may be eligible. Juries have awarded millions of dollars to Pradaxa victims, and thousands of Xarelto victims are filing their legal cases. Call the Drug Watch hotline if you or a loved one used Xarelto or Pradaxa and experienced uncontrollable bleeding, brain hemorrhage, or even death. You must call now.
Call 800-793-6055. 800-793-6055.
Today, everyone is looking for carpeting that lasts longer. G. Fried has you covered with Karastan. With a legacy of quality and integrity, we provide you with a huge selection of Karastan carpets with exclusive lifetime limited warranties. All installed by our highly skilled, highly knowledgeable team. Come ask us why Karastan is the best and most durable. G. Fried Flooring America. Our world is at your feet.
A decade of war has taken an unprecedented toll on our men and women in uniform.
Hundreds of thousands of our veterans are suffering from the trauma of war.
At Justice for Vets, we believe that every veteran should have the opportunity for treatment and restoration. Get involved and go to justiceforvets.org.
Help put treatment within reach of veterans in crisis.
Veterans fought for our freedom. Now it's our turn to fight for theirs.
Northland Outdoors is about so much more than the biggest fish or the hottest hunting spots. All across the Northland, there are amazing people with incredible stories to tell. We're going to find those stories and share them with everyone. Join us each and every week as we explore the Northland and experience some of the most exciting outdoor adventures in the country right here in our own backyard. This is Northland Outdoors.
Hamilton was adopted from a rescue in 2008. He really likes to be around people. And as soon as I start to make my breakfast, Hamilton is right there. I get out my mat and I'm doing a downward dog and he's underneath. He's quite the pug about town. He gets invited to a lot of parties. He knows he's a pretty big deal. I mean, look at this little face. How could you not love him?